Hello and welcome back to Clicks on the Side, and today we're going to be doing a 300-point modern theme team based around one of my favorite keywords, the Sinister Syndicate. I have been trying to put this video together for a little while now. Things just kept coming up, but we are finally ready to go with this Sinister Syndicate team. We're going to be starting off with one of my pools from my unboxings, if you happen to watch those videos. We're going to be starting off with chase number 54 from the Spider-Verse set. We are starting off with Electro. Absolutely stunning sculpt. Love what they did with the electricity. One downside to it, I'm nitpicking. He's missing part of his mask, guys. But you know what? I'm going to forgive it because just look at him. Unless you are paying very close attention, you would never even notice that. Very nice. Love to have this Electro in my collection. Let's take a look at what Electro can do. For this build, he will be at 50 points, has the Sinister Syndicate team ability, Frightful 4, and Sinister Syndicate keywords. Starts off with Running Shot, Penetrating Psychic Blast, Super Senses, and Enhancement. Does have Flight and 3 targets with a range of 5. As you can see, he does have a trait to start off. Friendly characters with the Sinister Syndicate keyword can use Energy Shield Deflection. So that's going to be everybody that you see here today will now have Energy Shield Deflection while Electro is on the field. Does have a special attack power, but that will not come in handy for this build. But he does have a special damage power there on his last 2 clicks. Let's take a look at that. That is Electrical Arcing, Range Combat Expert. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6. 4 through 6 deal 2 damage to an opposing character within range and line of fire. Very, very nice. 2 free damage to an opponent who is 5 squares away, or within 5 squares, and within line of fire. Very solid for 50 points. I love that he gives himself and his friends ESD. Just going to make him that much harder to get rid of. Joining Electro from the Wheels of Vengeance set. That's right, we have a Sinister Syndicate member from Wheels of Vengeance, but he's actually originally from the Civil War Organized Play set back in 2016. We are looking at a legacy piece in Jack-O-Lantern. Back when I first started collecting, I knew very little of this character. Just saw the sculpt and was like, hey, I want to pick that up. And since it was just an uncommon, didn't have much value, I got you for, what, 99 cents? And very much worth having it in the collection, especially now that he has been brought back. Jack-O-Lantern. There we go. 40 points. Has the Sinister Syndicate team ability. Sinister Syndicate, Skeleton Crew, Thunderbolts, and Monster keywords. Does have improved targeting through hindering terrain, a range of 5 with 2 targets, and does have Flight. Starts off with an amazing trait. For 40 points, he gets this. Exploding Pumpkinhead. Once per game, when Jack-O-Lantern would be KO'd by an opposing effect, instead turn him to click number 1, and after resolutions, deal an opposing character within range 3 damage. So essentially that trait is a very funky stop click. For 40 points, you are essentially getting 10 clicks worth of health and doing 3 free damage to an opposing character. Yeah, and that is also protected Pulse Wave. There is, in case you're not familiar, there is the Sinister Syndicate team ability. It is very similar to that of the Batman enemy team ability. So while his attack does go down later on, all the way down to a 9, if you have him beside, say, Electro, who has a 10, or somebody else on this team who does have a 12, guess who now also has a 12? Very solid piece. Even when he gets Earthbound neutralized on his last 2 clicks, he does gain exploit weakness, so he is dangerous up close as well. You really cannot get a better 40 points than that, in my opinion. Joining these two from yet another set. That's one thing I like about this team, is it is using multiple sets instead of just Spider-Verse. But coming in from the Collector's Trove set, we are now looking at rare number 29, Grizzly. It's fine. It's fine. It is not a bear that has just finished eating a man. It is a man in a bear suit. I can see why you're confused. But no, that is a man in a bear suit. There we go. We do have him at his 45-point starting line. He has the Masters of Evil and the Sinister Syndicate team abilities. Masters of Evil, Sinister Syndicate, Thunderbolts, Animal, Detective, and Spy keywords. Starts off with a charge, a special attack, special defense, and empower that goes into a Battle Fury on the second click. And then later on, it's just a charge with blades and some combat reflexes. And as you can see, he does have a trait, Ant-Man Security Solutions. Opposing characters within 4 squares can't pick up or equip terrain markers and can't be given close-range terrain actions. I can't think of what set that could be handy against. Smash and destroy. So yeah, very, very nice. There is the special attack power. Grizzly's here to make you suffer. Super strength, giant reach 2. Close, make a close attack. After resolutions, choose 1. Give a hit character an action token, or place a hit character in a square adjacent to Grizzly. Perfect way to charge up, hit an opponent, and then say put them behind you to cut him off from his friends behind him. Now your opponent is stuck between Grizzly and the rest of your forces. And then there is that special defensive power, Exoskeleton Bear Suit, combat reflexes, and invulnerability. Oh, there we are. If you're not familiar with Masters of Evil, when an adjacent friendly character makes a close attack, modify the target's defense -1 if the target is adjacent to this character. Get used to that team ability, especially with Smash and Destroy. There you go. Grizzly added to the Syndicate. Up next is a character I know nothing about. Seems to me like a joke character from Spider-Man's past. Who knows? I don't know if there's a more recent version of him, but they clixed him, I think, for the first time, and they went out of their way to make sure you remembered this figure. We are looking from Spider-Verse, super rare number 43, Kangaroo. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He looks like He-Man. You're not wrong. But this is the Kangaroo. There we go. Kangaroo is going to be coming in at his 30-point click. No team ability, but does have the Sinister Syndicate, Animal, Brute, and Martial Artist keywords. Brute is going to come up here in just a moment. He starts off with Charge, Quake, Combat Reflexes, and Close Combat Expert. Later on, that turns into Stealth with Combat Reflexes and Battle Fury. But he does have a couple of traits. The first one is, I'm not nobody, I'm the Kangaroo. Leap, Climb, Sidestep. Kangaroo may use Sidestep a second time if he knocked back an opposing character this turn. Second trait is, I lived in Kangaroo country, mate. Kangaroo modifies his defense +1 when attacked by characters that can't use Leap Climb. there are quite a few characters that cannot use leap climb. Avoid Spider-Mans and lizards, and you should be good. Free, make an attack, but only to target characters that can't use leap climb. Again, very, very handy. You can just do your full movement of 6 if you wanted to, up to a character that cannot use leap climb. Next thing you know, you're swinging on them with that close combat expert, 11 for 3 damage for free. Gotta love free attacks. Now he does have a special damage power as well. Oh, let's try that again. There we go. But that will not come in handy here. Only on his 60-point dial, but there it is just in case. Now, he does have the brute keyword. So we are also going to be giving the Kangaroo, the +1 longsword from the Dungeons and Dragons Displacer Beast set, which any brute or warrior can equip for free. And what that does is that it does give close combat expert, which he's already got on 2 dials, but it also gives blades. So now, if you're able to go up those 6 squares, and now you're swinging with close combat expert with blades. And the funny thing with that blades is when you use it with that sword, you +1 to the damage dealt. Yeah, I'll take that for free. A free attack that gives blades all day. For 30 points, absolutely. The Kangaroo can look as ridiculous as you want him to look, which he does. And you're going to see him on quite a few builds, to be completely honest. For 30 points, absolutely. All right. Joining the Sinister Syndicate is the other chase pool that I pulled in my unboxings. The one I was very excited about and still am. We are looking at chase number 58 from Spider-Verse, the Sandman. I am in love with this sculpt. My wife knows this sculpt because I refuse to put it away because my OCD says, hey, I want to go look at that. And there it is on my little table by our couch. She loves it. Let's take a look at the Sandman. He is going to be at his full strength, 75 points. Has the Sinister Syndicate team ability, Avengers, Frightful Four, Sinister Syndicate, and Brute keywords. Now, even though he has the Brute keyword, and I would love to give him the +1 longsword, he is giant sized. So, unfortunately, no +1 longsword for this guy. But that does give him that willpower. He does have a range of 3 with 2 targets. Starts off with Sidestep, a special attack power, Impervious, and shape change throughout. Later on, he does gain some plasticity, poison, and regeneration, improved movement through blocking and character bases as well. Does have some traits. The first one is, this city is my sandbox. Smoke Cloud as free. When Sandman uses it after generating each marker, Sandman may destroy a terrain marker or square of blocking terrain adjacent to that marker. Now for my favorite trait and why he is going to be on any Sinister Syndicate team moving forward. It's sand. It gets everywhere. Damage dealt by friendly characters with the Sinister Syndicate keyword can't be reduced below Sandman's printed damage value. So that means even if they have Invincible, if you have someone with the Sinister Syndicate keyword doing 3 damage, that is now 3 penetrating damage, or not, no, it would not be penetrating damage, but it'd be 3 damage that cannot be reduced. Invincible's not going to help you. Impervious isn't going to help you. You're just going to take it. So, you're going to want to try to keep Sandman back as much as possible, as he is giant-sized. And If you're able to keep him back, he'll have that ESD from Electro, and he will be able to have a 20 defense starting off. We are going to have another way to protect him here in just a moment once you see the last member of our Sinister Syndicate team. But I did mention that he does have a special attack power later on, and that is Scouring Sands. Poison. When Sandman uses it, characters within range and line of fire are considered adjacent to him. Again, he does have a range of 3, and he is giant-sized. So, unfortunately, you do kind of want him up in the fray a little bit, so his poison can benefit you. But at the same time, it will make him vulnerable. The shape change definitely helps. The 18 with ESD definitely helps. But you still want to find another way to try to protect him if you can. How are we going to do that? By some trickery, by some mischievousness, by some illusions, perhaps. Our last member of the Sinister Syndicate coming in from the Spider-Verse set is Chase number 59. Everyone's favorite Chase from that, I feel, is Mysterio. I did get my hands on one. I've been trying to get him on a team build. Things just kept popping up. There he is. In my opinion, definitely the sculpt of the set. You can see his face there. You can see his face there. What's that? Oh, there is another Mysterio right there. And if you look closely, there's a third one. Just an amazing job. I don't even know how they did this, to be honest. How they got it to wrap around the figure like that. Just absolutely gorgeous. I know some people showed up broken with the arm off, and I can totally see how that could happen, but mine arrived safely. Just a beautiful sculpt. That's all I gotta say. Just a beautiful sculpt. There we go. Mysterio had to be the choice to join the Sinister Syndicate. He will be at 50 points for this team build. He does have the Sinister Syndicate team ability, the Magia, Sinister Syndicate, Celebrity, and Scientist keywords. Has a couple of traits, but we'll get into those here in just a moment. He does have improved targeting through hindering, a range of 4 with 3 targets. Starts off with a special movement with poison with a 12 attack. That is very important. 18 super senses and a special damage power. And here is where he is going to help protect the Sandman. First trait is your greatest foes concealed. Friendly characters with the Sinister Syndicate keyword can use stealth. There you go. Sandman has stealth. Sandman is also able to... Come back here, you. Use Smoke Cloud is free. So, now Sandman is able to go ahead and conceal himself in his own smoke cloud. Gotta love... I love how they made the Sinister Syndicate chases work together in this set. I hate that they were all chases because it made it so hard to get them all together. But I feel like they did them all true justice. Although I do like Doc Ock Prime over the Doc Ock chase, but that's for another time. His second trait, the Illusion Generator, Shape Change. So now it's Super Senses and Shape Change. Free. If there are no other friendly characters named Mysterio, roll a d6. Generate up to half the result of number 2 Mysterios from Spider-Verse on their red starting line within range and line of fire. Those are going to be these Mysterios. Right there. The translucent one, These also work with the uncommon Mysterio, I believe. So if you happen to get any, I would hold on to them. At least 3. Because with that trait, you can generate up to 3 Mysterios. And here they are. They have the Sinister Syndicate and Underworld team abilities. Sinister Syndicate and Robot keywords have Mind Control, Poison, Willpower, and Shape Change. And they are expendable goons. When Mysterio is KO'd by an opposing character, after resolutions you may roll a d6. 1 through 3, generate a smoke terrain marker in the square Mysterio last occupied. 4 through 6, generate a character with the expendable goon trait on its 15-point starting line adjacent to a friendly character or any smoke terrain. Now, I love that they are expendable goons. For the simple fact is that you want these illusions to be taken out. If not, they're going to be excellent tie-up pieces for your squad. If they are taken out, it gives you a chance. Say they take out your last one, you don't have any more, you get to use the illusion generator again and pop them back out. Since they are expendable goons, if they go out, you don't have to bring them back. If one of them go out, my go-to is going to be to bring in an inner demon. Because I love inner demons. If you saw that Mr. Negative team build I did, inner demons are the goon to go to, in my opinion. So just like that, you're able to switch out your Mysterios for inner demons. And even if you have 2 inner demons, say 2 out of 3 return to inner demons, the other Mysterio is gone, you get to use the illusion generator again because the Mysterios are gone, but you still have 2 goons. I love the ability to do that, and I intend to use that as often as I can. Now, we did have a special movement and a special damage power. The movement is everywhere yet nowhere. Mind control. Free. Place Mysterio and a friendly character named Mysterio in each other's squares. And then there is the special damage power, a puff of smoke, a shattered mirror. Probability control. Opposing characters within range of a friendly character named Mysterio can't use improved targeting abilities. Gotta love it. I love that Mysterio. I really thought Sandman was going to be my favorite from this set, but it's not just a sculpt with Mysterio. He is a good piece all around. So let's recap. With this team, you get ESD all around thanks to Electro. You get stealth all around thanks to Mysterio. Thanks to the Sandman, you are now getting damage that cannot be reduced below Sandman's printed damage. That includes the Mysterios. That includes, say, Jack-o'-lantern is on click number, click number 3. Only does 2 damage. Well, guess what? That 2 damage, even if it's not getting reduced. I just love that trait so much. You have a wild kangaroo man who gets to jump around and attack for free in most situations with blades. That does +1 damage on top of it. You have the Sinister Syndicate team ability. So ideally, I'd have Electro carrying around Mysterio and using his running shot, penetrating psychic blast now with the 12 attack from Mysterio. Yeah, it's going to be wreaking havoc. I'm very excited to try out. I tried out a version of this team already on a 400-point scale, and it did very well. And yeah, I'm looking very much forward to using this team for a good year plus while it's in modern rotation. I know we are going to lose Jack-o'-lantern, so I am going to have to figure out something there come this fall. But very excited about the Sinister Syndicate again after it being gone for a little while. But let me know what you think. Do you like this team? I know this is Definitely a more expensive team build, having 3 chases in it. Not most people are going to have all 3 chases. I happened to get lucky with 2 of my pulls, and then, yes, I pulled the trigger on the Mysterio. I had to do it because I just only saw his price going up, which it did. Yeah, let me know what you think. Is this a team you want to try out? Who would you switch in or switch out? But that has been it for me. Thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, this has been Clicks on the Side.